Hi, I'm Josh, and I'm a licensed real estate agent, and today I want to talk to you about the steps to buying a home. Buying a home can be kind of complicated, and there are a lot of steps involved. So you want an agent that can sit with you and explain each step in detail. Now, the first part is probably the most fun part. It's the actual search. You get to go into a bunch of homes and determine whether you like them or not. That's pretty fun. Something that I've found is that buyers tend to know very quickly if they like a home, and it tends to happen subconsciously too. There can be really specific things that might attract a buyer to a certain house, and on the flip side, there can honestly be quite little things that turn a buyer off too. But that's all things that you experience in just that first step. Once you actually find a home that you like, you have to put an offer in. Now, that can be kind of daunting, especially if you're a first time home buyer, because you could already imagine yourself living in the home. And now you have to convince the seller to actually sell it to you. Many of these situations can be extremely competitive as well. It's possible to be in a town where a single home is getting 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 offers, and you want to be able to distinguish yourself from all of those people. The offer writing process requires you to not only formulate the numbers, but also get into the nitty gritty of the dates and conditions of your offer that are gonna appeal the most to the seller. Now, say you finally got through that step and your offer was accepted. You're done. You have the house. No. A seasoned home buyer will know that you're not even halfway done yet at this point. What you have to do now during this step can be quite exciting. You have to submit what's called an offer deposit. Typically it's $1,000, but depending on the market and how competitive the other offers are, it could be all the way up to 10,000. And it's referred to as what's called an earnest money deposit. It shows the seller that you're serious, that you want the home, and that you're ready to put money on the line for it. Now, when you back up your offer with cash like this, it gives the seller confidence and trust that you're not going to back out, because that's one of the biggest fears on the selling side, is that something's going to fall through, they're going to have to go back on market, and that's a really bad situation to be as a seller. So you want somebody that's super serious. Now, getting the offer deposit in has to happen fast, because when your offer is accepted, it doesn't necessarily mean that the contract is set in place. You need that money to be able to seal the deal, if you will. And I love getting offers accepted because I feel like I'm on Fast and the Furious when I have to get a check delivered, zooming through traffic, about to fly over a bridge to get one delivered. But yeah, it can be kind of exhilarating, at least in my experience. But typically as a buyer, the next step that you want to pursue is an inspection. It depends what market you're in, whether you're going to do something like waive the inspection, but let's assume you're getting that inspection because that gives you the security you need as a buyer about the home. So that's when you hire a licensed inspector to come through, and that can take anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. And it could be longer if it's a bigger home too. The price is a good amount. You could end up paying between $500 to $1,000 for your inspection on that home. Now, you'll be able to know if there's anything wrong with the home. Oftentimes, the home will be fine and dandy. Sometimes you'll learn little things that might be wrong with the home that you could even start getting excited to fix yourself if you're going to be the new homeowner. But if you have big ticket items that end up coming back bad from that inspection, you have the option to back out at that point. And you also get the option to have your earnest money deposit returned, which is a good thing. Of course, you don't want those big ticket items to end up coming back in the inspection, but it's a layer of a security that you can give yourself as a buyer. Now, say everything was fine with the inspection and you're ready to go to the next step, and that's called purchase and sales, or as we say in the industry, P&S for short. And this is where we get the seller's attorneys and the buyer's attorney to meet and make all the final negotiations. If it's a condo, for example, they have to take into account all the condo fees and rules, and in that sense they have to know the local regulations, and there's a lot that goes on in that step that is taken on by those attorneys, and both the buyer and the seller are required to have an attorney. Now, all that's set. The day after that is when you have to actually apply for your mortgage. Now, what you might have already done by this step, what you probably already did, is get what's called a pre-approval, which lets you know how much house you can afford, what your monthly payment might be, and interest rate information and all that. But that's not an actual loan. So you have to actually shop around for a mortgage now. So you typically have 30 days to do it. And the bank actually has to go through all of your numbers and to make sure that they're absolutely willing to now hand that money over, which could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. So during this time is when you really don't want to do any messing around with your finances. No big purchases, no other loans, no co-signing, nothing like that. And once that all comes back and is all good to go, now you're getting to the final step, which is closing. This is where the money for the home is fronted. You pay the remaining closing costs, which could be a bunch of different things. It could end up being taxes and attorney fees and mortgage origination fees and all that. And at the end of this is when you get the keys to your house. So it ends up being it can be a long process. It could be weeks. It could be 6 weeks from the time that you actually put your offer in to the time that you actually close on the home and get the keys. Now, something that I'd like to advise people that I talk to who are looking to buy a home is that you have an experienced and knowledgeable agent who does this every day right beside you throughout the process. So although if you're thinking of all the steps at once, because hearing all of these steps, you're probably like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of work. You want someone who's going to be able to delineate every single step for you and make sure that you're getting everything done correctly as well. After watching this video, I don't expect you to remember every single step and every single detail, but as a licensed agent who has a core value of education, I actually have a full guide to buying a home that I could send you in PDF form. So I will include a link to that PDF in the description below, and I will also have a link on there for you to explore Colibri Real Estate. They are a company that trains agents. So if you're watching this video and getting inspired about what it might be like to be an actual real estate agent, click on that link and sign up through that link so that you can get access to all of the stuff that they have to offer. If you find all of this information useful, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more content, and feel free to browse everything else on my library.